Because there's another former model who's also married to a super-rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall. You are not to ever again mention the bride catalog's return policy. Toss his boxy clown suits on the front lawn. Just tell him I'm leaving you and I'm taking our child. He would be stunned. We have a child?
Did you hear about the $150 million lawsuit over one little word? Bill Maher, the guy who loves poking fun at politicians, is in hot water for a joke about Trump and Laura Loomer. Yep, you heard that right. $150 million for one word. So what's the deal? Is free speech on trial, or is this just another day in the circus we call politics? Stick around to find out why Loomer's got her panties in a twist and why Maher might be laughing all the way to the bank. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much.
Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover, my side of the story. It's not anti-feminist to say that in addition to doing everything men can do intellectually, women also have another power. The power of the ultimatum. You are not to ever again mention the bride catalog's return policy.
Now, back to the video. Alright folks, let's talk about Bill Maher, the man who can make Republicans cry faster than an onion chopping contest. This guy's not just a comedian, he's like a verbal ninja, slicing and dicing political figures with his razor-sharp wit. And boy, did he just land himself in a whole heap of trouble. Picture this. Maher's doing his usual Trump roast on his HBO show, Real Time. The audience is loving it, laughing at every jab about the Orange Menace's hair, tiny hands, and inflated ego. But then, Maher spots Laura Loomer in the crowd. For those who don't know, Loomer's like the far right's answer to a chihuahua. Small, yappy, and always looking for a fight. Now, Maher's brain goes into overdrive. You can almost see the gears turning in his head, like a hamster on a wheel after too much coffee. He's got a joke locked and loaded, and the audience is on the edge of their seats. What's he gonna say about Trump and Loomer? The tension is thicker than Trump's spray tan. And then, bam, Maher drops the bomb. He says Trump would only date Loomer if she was his daughter. Ouch, that's gotta hurt worse than stepping on a Lego brick in the dark. The crowd goes absolutely bonkers. It's like they've just seen Trump trip over his own ego and faceplant into a bucket of KFC.
And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. And we got a hold of Melania's. It's not in this magazine, but it's coming out soon. Would you like to hear Melania's 25 things you didn't know about? Because there's another former model who's also married to a super-rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall. Your unhappiness is obvious. You despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand.
But hold on to your MAGA hats, folks, because this story's got more twists than a pretzel factory. While everyone else is laughing their butts off, Loomer's sitting there looking madder than Trump at a salad bar. You can practically see the steam coming out of her ears, like a cartoon character about to explode. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Instead of just brushing it off like most people would, Loomer decides to go full Karen and asks to speak to the manager. Except in this case, the manager is a judge, and she's not complaining about cold fries. She's slapping Maher with a $150 million lawsuit. That's right, folks. Loomer's so mad, she's trying to sue the pants off Maher for a cool $150 million. That's more money than Trump probably has in his bank account, not counting Russian rubles, of course. All because of one little word joke. Talk about thin skin. Loomer's got a hide so fragile it makes tissue paper look like Kevlar. Folks, if you thought $150 million was pocket change for a punchline, you're in for a wild ride. Laura Loomer's not just mad, she's madder than Trump when someone tells him his tie is crooked. She's suing Bill Maher for more money than the Donald probably spends on hairspray in a year. But here's the kicker. Legal experts are rolling their eyes so hard they might need medical attention. Turns out, suing someone over a joke is about as easy as getting Trump to admit he lost the election. It's like trying to catch a greased pig at a county fair. Slippery, messy, and bound to end up with someone covered in mud. To win this lawsuit, Loomer's gotta prove that Maher knew his joke was as false as Trump's promises to drain the swamp. Good luck with that. It's comedy, not a sworn testimony. Next thing you know, we'll be fact-checking knock-knock jokes. But wait, there's more. Loomer also needs to show that Maher's zinger hurt her reputation more than her own tweets already have.
But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this? Toss his boxy clown suits on the front lawn. Just tell him I'm leaving you and I'm taking our child. He would be stunned. We have a child? And you two have a lot in common. Your husbands are ruining the world. The Melania's list. I don't know if you'd like to, but these are her rules.
That's like complaining that someone spilled a glass of water in the middle of a hurricane. Good luck measuring that damage, folks. Meanwhile, the internet's having a field day. It's like Black Friday for meme makers out there. Half the people are cheering for Maher's right to crack jokes, while the other half are busy photoshopping Loomer's face onto Lady Justice. It's a regular circus, and we're all just waiting to see which clown comes out of the tiny car next. This whole shebang is giving everyone flashbacks to when Kathy Griffin held up that fake Trump head. Remember that mess? It's like deja vu, but with less ketchup and more legal papers. At least Griffin didn't try to sue anyone. She just had to deal with the Secret Service knocking on her door. Maybe Loomer should have taken notes. All this hullabaloo is stirring up a big old pot of questions about free speech and comedy. Can you imagine if every comedian got sued for every joke? We'd have more courtroom drama than a season of Law and Order.
Maybe it falls to you now, Melania. You can end this reign of terror, and all you have to do is channel your inner Taylor Swift and walk out the door. What if she had someone to do it with? Divorce is always easier in pairs. What if you had a buddy, Melania? Getting men to change their destructive ways by threatening to leave them, humiliate them, or cut them off in bed.
Some folks are saying humor should be protected, even if it makes you madder than a wet hen. Others think Loomer's got a point, buried somewhere under all those zeros on her lawsuit. So here we are, folks. Another day in the wacky world of politics, where jokes are more dangerous than policy decisions. Who knew one little word could cause such a fuss? It's like watching a clown car crash into a lawyer's office. Messy, but you can't look away. Bill Maher's got a point though, as he says, in a world where people are so sensitive, we need to laugh more than ever. Ain't that the truth? If you can't take a joke, maybe politics isn't your game. It's like joining a water balloon fight and getting mad when you get wet. But hey, who knows? Maybe this lawsuit will change everything. Next time a comedian cracks a joke, they'll need a team of lawyers to approve it first. Can you imagine? Hold on, folks. I've got a killer punchline, but my legal team's still reviewing it. Now that's comedy gold.